Hello dear students, welcome to the subject of statistics for the class 12th English medium, the first part, the fourth chapter, the last chapter of the part 1, that is time series. We are going to study the last chapter of the first part, that is the time series. Now, a time series is a set of observations taken at specified time periods. Once again, I will repeat that time series is a set of observations taken at specified time periods. That means observations selected at certain time periods. If I want to take an example here, we can take the example of the population census of India. Since 1901, at each 10 years, we have taken a population census of India. That means on 1901, 1911, 1921, 1931, 41, 51, 61, and 2001, 2011, and now 2021 we are going to conduct the population census. So the series of the data created with that, we can call it a time series. So that's a time series. Now this is another example of the time series here. As you can see in the bottom line, there are the years 76, 77 up to 2009, and each year the child mortality rate has been recorded. So the line you see on your screen is a line of a time series. This shows the time series of the child mortality rate, which overall decreases, which you can see. So this depicts a time series. This is another example of time series. Actually, there are two time series. One is average high temperature time series. Second is average low temperature time series. This depicts the temperature during a year in the Ahmedabad. The average high temperature is the series in the above. The average low temperature is series below. As you can see, we can compare these two series, how they come close during the July and August, and how they are far away during January, February, and December. So this actually gives us an idea about time-wise changes in the data. So time series basically depicts the changes in the observations based on time. Any data is compared with time. That's the motto of time series, that out of the two variables, one variable that is on the x-axis is always time. In the previous slide we had years, in the current slide we have months, it could be weeks, it could be days, it could be hours, it could be anything, but everything must be related with time. So x-axis here is always time, and y-axis can be any variable. We will discuss what is time series afterwards. Before, we need to understand the importance of time series here. Using the time series and the pattern, as we can see, we can estimate the future or the past data from the available information. What might have happened in the past, what may happen in the future. The variation in future can be estimated from the available data of the time series. If we know that what happened during this gap of 10 years, we can estimate 11th year, or we can estimate the 0th year using this data. The important decisions taken from the estimated value of future and industrial as well as government policies can be easily framed. So from the available data, if we can estimate the future, we can formulate industrial, agricultural, or government policies using the data of time series. Now, two or more industrialist or government institution can make a comparative study of the data, that governments can compare their works or progress, industries can compare their works, even companies can compare their works based on the time series. So time series is quite important because it takes into consideration time. What are the uses of time series? The first one, we can identify the factors affecting variable of the time series. Means for example, my variable is the yearly production of wheat, so I can identify the factors which affect that production. I can identify the factors which affect the production of wheat using the time series. It might be rain, it might be fertilizers, it might be land, it might be the tilling process, it might be anything, but I can identify those factors. After identifying, we can segregate, we can differentiate these factors and check the effect of each and every factor. Maybe rain affects the most my harvest, maybe tilling does not affect that much, maybe fertilizer has a mediocre effect on my harvesting. So based on this segregation of factors, I can understand which factor affects my variable the most. And once I know that which factor affects my variable the most, I can try to maximize that variable. It is also possible to know the past situation from the available data, and it is also possible to estimate the future using the statistical methods. We can take proper decisions for the future using the estimated values and activities, and we can plan our future acts using that. Comparative study becomes quite easy of the time series is because we have the same variables for different units, and thus we can compare them. The last use is that estimates obtained from the past data can be compared with the present values, and the reasons for discrepancies, the reasons for changes can be known, which we can improve in the future. That means if we have a time series of say from the 18th century and 19th century, and we can compare these two centuries to estimate what we can do in the 21st century. So that kind of data is very useful. Now let's do some statistical talk here. This is not actually in your syllabus, but this is I have given you for the sake of understanding. We have studied the third chapter, that was the regression, and now we are going to study the fourth chapter, that is the time series. To be very honest, regression and time series is same. In regression, what we did, we had an independent variable, that is x, and then we had a dependent variable, that was y, and then we used the x to find y. In time series it is the same. We have independent variable, we call it t. The independent variable in time series is always time. In regression it wasn't fixed, it could be rainfall, it could be price, it could be demand, it could be supply, it could be production, it could be anything. So the independent variable in regression was x because it was unknown, but in time series it is fixed, it is time, so we call it t. Dependent variable for regression was y, while for time series the dependent variable y depends on time, so I call it yt. Everything else is same. That means the regression equation becomes the time series equation. The regression equation y cap, we will call it time series equation as y cap t. The regression equation a plus bx here becomes a plus b t. Why? Because the x becomes t in the time series. So the formula for b is also similar. The only difference is that we will replace x with t. Everything else is same. That's why the fourth chapter is the easiest chapter of the whole statistics syllabus, because it depends entirely on the third chapter. It is actually easier than the third chapter. It only has one formula. In the third chapter we had xy formula, and in time series we are going to use only that formula. No uv formula, no x bar y bar formula, only xy formula. Only difference that using t in the place of x. I will teach you guys that in a later tutorials, but right now I'm just giving you a hint of how we are going to solve this chapter. Now, moving forward to a very important theory for this chapter, that is the components of time series. Now, time series has four components. The first component are the long-term variations. Now, the explanation in the textbook is very long, but I have derived some points from that explanation to cover it up in a short space. Long-term variations means their effects are for a very long period of time. That means in any time series, the things which are there for a very long period of time, since beginning they are going on and going on and going on and going on. For example, if I say that in our lives the effect of our experience is very long term, from birth till death we keep on accumulating experiences, and that experience grows and grows and grows and grows, it changes, always it keeps on changing. So that becomes a long term variation is in our lives, so that's why its effect is for a very long period of time. It also considers the overall changes. For example, I gave you the child mortality rate in India. If you see, it sometimes increased, sometimes decreased, but overall there was a decreasing trend. I am talking about overall. It increased some, it decreased some, it kept on increasing and decreasing, but overall from left top to right bottom it was going. So overall it was decreasing. So that is kind of a general average effect. That's a long term variation. If we are talking about agriculture, then its effect lasts for 10 to 15 years. So for 10 to 15 years of agriculture, we can see a long term trend. But if it is electronics, it is 4 to 5 years, because electronic changes, each month. Agriculture has yearly production, electronics has monthly production. So for electronics, it is only 4 to 5 years. By this trend for agriculture is 10 to 15 years. And the long-term variations are denoted by capital T. The small t stands for time series. The capital T stands for trend. So trend of the time series, we call it trend. The long-term variations are known as trend and denoted by capital T, small t, TT. So the long-term variations are usually the general variations or the average variations or the overall changes in the time series. The second variations are the seasonal variations. As the name suggests, they change according to seasons. Simple example here, that monsoon. So each monsoon, the sale of raincoats and umbrellas increase, while for the remaining seasons they decrease. So each year this keeps on happening and happening and happening. So it varies regularly at short period of time. It takes less than a year to change this. That in a single year, in monsoon the umbrellas increase, in winter the woolen clothes, the sale of woolen clothes increase, and during the summer the sale of ice cream increases. So that's a seasonal variation. Period of oscillation is less than a year. Here oscillation means repetition. For example, umbrellas stop selling during December and they again start selling during June, July. So that means the same thing happened in a less than 1 year. So period of oscillation, the period of repetition is usually less than a year. Natural or man-made factors. Now this, you can say these seasons are natural factors, while if you talk about Diwali, then Holi and Dhuleti, then Mahashivratri, these are man-made factors. But during this festival certain things start selling, and once these festivals are over they stop. So that is also kind of a seasonal variation. So that's a man-made factor. These seasonal variations are denoted by ST. S stands for season. So time series consists of long-term variations, that is trend. Seasonal variations, it's a short-term variation, a type of a short-term variation, that is a seasonal variation. Then comes the third type. It is also a short-term variation. We call it a cyclical variation. Now, cyclical variations are also at a regular intervals, but they are usually for more than a year. Seasonal variations are for a less than a year. Cyclical variations are for a more than a year. There is this only difference. There is not usually any other difference between seasonal and cyclical variations. If you want an example, you can say that the boom, recession, depression, regression, these things happen in the market. So these are the examples of the cyclical variation. Sometimes you see a heavy price rise, then after some years the prices decrease. That is also a part of a cyclical variation. It keeps on happening. Sometimes the period of oscillation is 2 to 10 years, or sometimes it is 10 to 15 years. That means the period between 2 to 10 years the cycle repeats itself. So that's again a short term variation, but for a more than 1 year, and it is called cyclical variation, and it is denoted by CT, cyclical, that is C and T. Next are random or accidental variations. Now random or accidental variations are sudden, they are unpredictable. We don't know when they might happen, we don't know how they happen, we don't know for how many years they will keep on happening, or after how many years they will happen. Random variations doesn't belong to any trend. They are totally unpredictable. They have no time intervals. They just happen. They might happen due to natural disasters such as flood or drought or famine, may happen due to man-made problems like wars, and for example, right now lockdown is going on. So all of these things are random or accidental variations. They don't happen due to any reasons, they just happen without any notices, and that's why they are also known as accidental variations, and they are denoted by RT, that is the random for the time series. So right now we have four components of time series. One is the long term variations, which are overall average variation. Short term variations have two types, that is seasonal variation and cyclical variations. Seasonal variations are for less than 1 year. It might be natural, that is seasons, and man-made, that is festivals. Cyclical variations are for more than a year, usually maybe 2 to 10 years or 10 to 15 years, and they have a cycle. It is also part of a short-term variable variations. And then that is a random or accidental variations, that is they are sudden and unpredictable without any further notice or without any trend or any predictability. So these are the four components of time series, and these components together create our time series variable, that is yt. And when we add these four components together, we get the yt, that is the dependent variable of the time series. So if we want to know the value of the time series variable, we need to add the trend, the seasonal variation, the cyclical variation, and the random variation. We call this formula the additive model of time series. Once again I will repeat, it is important, the additive model of the time series. So that is yt is equal to tt plus st plus ct plus rt. This, my dear friends, here I will end my tutorial. I will teach you further things in the next tutorial. What we studied in this video, number thing, what is a time series? I defined it in the very beginning. What was its importance? What are its uses? I also gave you some examples of time series, and then I gave you the description in short of the components of time series. Read this whole description once in your textbooks. I have covered all the important points, but certain I can say explanations are there in the textbook which you can refer if you want. And then I gave you the important model, that is the additive model of the time series, which adds all the components of time series to get the time dependent variable. Now next time we will discuss about the various methods of solving the time series problem. So till then, my dear students, see you, stay home and stay safe.